I'm dating coach and relationship expert Jennifer Hurwitz, and welcome to Doing Relationships Right. Raw, authentic, and insightful, this podcast is a no bullshit look at all things dating and relationships. The good, the not so good, and the what the hell was that? No worries, I've got you, and we'll figure it all out together without taking ourselves too seriously here on Doing Relationships Right. Here you are at midlife. Your boobs have entered a new zip code. You have genes older than your daughter's new fiance, and now you're single again. But is that cause for a crisis? Hell no. It's time to pick yourself up, Buttercup. Whether you're freshly unhitched, just dipping your toesies back into the dating pool, or ready to dive into a new relationship, my new book, Midlife Priceless, a dating coach's guide to finally doing relationships right, has you covered with new dating and relationship advice tailored to meet you wherever you are in your relationship journey. Join me, Jennifer Hurwitz, author of best-selling books, One Happy Divorce and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, as I share BS-free tips and laugh out loud personal anecdotes to help set you on the path toward finally doing dating and relationships right. Grab your copy of my new book, Midlife Priceless, at jenniferhurwitz.com. That's jenniferhurwitz.com. Good morning. Good morning. This is Doing Relationships Right. I'm Jennifer Hurwitz. I'm your host every Tuesday, sometimes on Friday if I feel like it, but it's Tuesday, so we're here today. And if you're watching, you can see the beautiful young, you're just so cute, Britt. I can't take it. Britt Williams Baker is here, and she is the CEO and founder of, wait a minute, hold on to your seats, everybody, of what is called Dow Janes. Am I right?
You're right.
I said it right, like Dow Jones, but it's Dow Janes. So you
there
can know
you
what I got it. You know what we're talking about today. My favorite topic, because Britt, I have the worst relationship with money. The worst. So we are talking about all things money today, but I have to give a little shout out to you first before we start. Can I talk about you for a minute? I'm going to read your bio because you're like super impressive at all of 35 years old. Oh, at 34, I gave you an extra year, I think. Okay. Britt Williams Baker. Okay, you ready? Is a Harvard Business School graduate, y'all. Did you hear that? An expert investor with more than 10 years of experience and a money mindset coach. She's on a mission to serve those who have traditionally been left out of the financial world. That's me. And she does so by bringing a step-by-step approach to saving and investing. Okay. And you have a program right now that's going on forever. It's called the $1 Million Year. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all things money and why it's important to have a good relationship with money and your mindset around money. I'm going to stop talking, Britt, and tell us how this started, how you got this cool name, why you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people following you. I've stalked you. I follow you myself. And let's hear it. Hi, darling. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Good.
You're awesome.
I'm happy to have you.
I can't wait to keep listening to your podcast.
Glad you're here.
Where did all this start? This all started, you are not going to believe it, when I was 8 years old. And I know I'm not like this protege child. I give all credit to my parents, but they actually taught us about money from a really young age. And I know it doesn't happen in most households.
No, it doesn't.
And they taught us, we had to pay for our own toys. If we wanted toys, we had to use our allowance. If we wanted something, we could pay for half and they would pay for the other half, but it really questioned us to say if we really wanted something or not. And then they taught us about compound interest.
Wait, I don't even know what that is.
So compound interest is the idea that when you invest your money in, traditionally when you invest it in the stock market, it grows over that year and it makes money. And the money that it makes, so let's say you invest $1,000 and you make $10. That $10 then makes its own interest the next year. And that's what compound interest is. It's your money making money without doing anything. And so that's what ultimately passive income is. And
I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most people don't.
That's why you're here, Britt, for me. I didn't tell you.
So they taught us that at a pretty young age, the importance of saving and that if we invest, our money can earn money on its own. And so I was just steeped in the language of personal finance from a pretty early age. And then when I grew up and was living in the Bay Area, I would have friends come to me asking, how do I invest? What do I need to know? How much should I have saved for retirement? All these questions that, I happen to know the answer to just because this was what I grew up around. And so I started an investment club in my living room. It was kind of like a book club. But instead of talking about a novel, we would be talking about the stock market.
It's amazing.
And it was actually really fun to bring the taboo out of money and to be sitting around in a circle talking about like, how much did you spend on groceries last month? I spent this much. Is that crazy? And to bring that into the conversation. Yeah, it was pretty different than, the normal book club conversation.
But I think that's amazing. And it's important because a lot of times when you're with your girlfriends and we sit around, we don't talk about money.
Exactly.
Like at my age, I'm older than you. I'm 20 years. I'm 50 years old. We're like embarrassed by a lot of the issues we have with money. But if maybe if we spoke about it at a younger age, we wouldn't be.
Okay. I'm so glad you brought that up because we see this over and over again. The shame and the guilt that comes with like, oh, I spent this much, or like I'm in debt and I'm still spending money and I can't stop. And like, I don't want to tell anyone about it because I'm so ashamed that I'm doing it. And that kind of this like living with your head in the sand or not like owning it or paying attention to it or thinking that it really means something about you. That's what we break in our program. So we have a program called the $1 Million Year where we're coaching women to just take total control over their financial situation. And the first thing we do is address this shame right up front and like just remind people that you didn't learn this in high school. No one taught you how to manage your money. You were just expected to figure it out. And so the fact that you didn't figure it out, you don't need to go blaming yourself.
Oh, I love that. But why do you think we weren't taught in high school? Like if it just, do you think why didn't my kids learn? Like we tried to teach them, my ex-husband, my husband is in finance, but like, why didn't I learn? Why do you think? Like, can we do something about that? Can you fix it? Fix it.
So I think most people don't learn because they actually don't know themselves. So most parents are just kind of trying to figure it out for themselves. And so they don't even know how to teach their kids. And then why is it not taught in schools? I mean, there's a lot that's not taught in schools that needs to be.
I know, God, isn't that the
how
truth?
To like actually get by in the world, practical math skills.
I think we had to take an egg once and like make it live, like an egg for a week or something. I was like, really? Because that's like a baby. God almighty. I was like, okay. Oh, yeah. Anyway, okay, but go ahead. So that this all started. So then you went.
So this all started and people started asking about it. I'd be at, cocktail parties or dinner parties and they'd say, when's the next Dow Jones meeting? Or I heard about the Dow Jones. And the name actually came from my mom's investment club. So she was part of a group of women. When I was a little girl, she would go to these meetings, these Dow Jones meetings, and they would pool their money and they would invest together. And so stole the name from her with full permission. And so that's how it started. And it became this thing that people wanted. And so I knew that I needed to bring it online and reach way more people than I was with my immediate community in the Bay Area. So that's when I went to my best friend and business partner, Lorianne, who knew how to start an online business. And we did it together from there. That was 3 years ago.
So that was only 3 years ago. And you have the following that you have?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay. So tell everybody a little bit about this. So if you have to follow Dow Jones. It's amazing. But it's like, it's kind of like a fun, comfortable, engaging way to talk about money. If you don't mind me giving a little, then you tell everybody because it's like cool. It's a cool way.
So on Instagram, we're at dow.janes and we post, we try to keep it light and entertaining, and we post reels and we post inspiring content and uplifting content. And we are not here to tell you to stop buying your latte and, sacrifice things. We are here to just bring you confidence and clarity over your financial life and really feel good about the decisions you're making with your money each day. And so it's what we're doing on social, both Instagram, Pinterest. We also have an incredible YouTube channel with just free content and free videos that give a lot of advice and
I didn't know that.
Step-by-step instructions. And then our program is really where the accountability comes in. It's a step-by-step curriculum with community and coaches and places to ask questions.
That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't know you had I'm not surprised that you have a YouTube channel as well. Your reels are engaging and they're funny and they're smart. And the whole thing is just, it makes you feel like you're right. The shame around money, it's like gone when you're on your feed. I don't feel like, I feel like I can hang out. I'm like, oh, and then you get tips as well. It's like all together. Okay. I have some questions for you. Is that okay?
Of course.
Can I ask? Okay. So the money persona, can you explain that a little bit? Give a little background on that. Okay.
So everyone has a default money persona that they don't even realize they're walking around with.
Okay.
So for me, for a long time, that was a scarcity mindset. a feeling of, I don't know if I have enough and I don't know if I can afford to buy raspberries at the grocery store. They're $7. That seems like a lot. Or, whatever your story is. My business partner talks about how she just operates with money the way her mom does. If something's on sale, she buys 2 of them.
I'm like, I win.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's these ways that we relate to money that we've largely inherited from society, culture, our parents, and we have an opportunity to create our own money personas. So, we're adults, we get to decide who we want to be when it comes to money. So part of the exercise that we do is have people write out who their new money persona is. So usually we give them an alliteration. So yours could be like Jazzy Jennifer. And what does Jazzy Jennifer do with her money? Does she have a budget? Does she treat her friends to dinner? Does she save X% for retirement? What are the things? How does she relate to her money? What are the actual actions that she takes? And then ideally, you're channeling that money persona as you're making decisions, as you're at the grocery store, as you're paying your bills, as you're actually opening your mail and looking at your bills and facing that resistance. You bring in your money persona of who you want to be when it comes to your finances.
I mean, I love it. I'm thinking to myself going, God, where were you guys 20 years ago? Like, I feel like I wish I would have, could have, should have, right? It's so frustrating because at 50 years old, looking back, I'm like, I'm still angry at some of the choices that I made with my money. You know what I mean? I'm bitter.
Also so glad you said this. It's like, you're just feeding me lines.
I love this. Yes, it's fabulous, Britt. Okay.
So many of the women we work with are in their 50s, and so many, I know we didn't think this was going to be the case either. When we started our business, we thought we were going to be working with people in our 30s and our peers and people who are just getting started. But things haven't gotten bad enough for them to realize how urgent this is. And so who we end up working with is a lot of women in their 40s and 50s who their first thought is it too late for me? I wish I'd done this when I was 20. But the truth is, if you don't do it now, it's only going to get worse. And you still actually have a lot of time. People think retirement is this looming thing, but retirement age is the point at which maybe you stopped earning income, but your money can still stay invested for another, 20 to 30 years, depending on your life expectancy. And so it's actually a great time to get things organized and in place and have kind of systems taking care of you and your finances. So 50 is not too late.
I was feeling nervous for a minute. And also, a lot of I don't know if a lot of your clients are going through divorce. I think they are. Yes, you have a lot of divorcees and divorce. Yeah. I mean, that was a total, for me, I was like, holy crap, my whole world was turned upside down. So it's nice to know that, a lot of my listeners are divorced or going through changes or, so listeners, listen and make sure, all of your information will be in the show notes for sure. But,
about 25% of our members are divorced, and we have so many resources for helping people through the process, basically managing finances after divorce, things you should be thinking about as you're going through divorce. We have a workshop coming up, and we just did a workshop on things you should be thinking about as you're going through the divorce process when it comes to your finances.
Hello, everybody. Where have you been all my life? This is like, I feel like this is just like, oh my God, this is the best. I can't even. So yeah. So like this is perfect. I'm just so glad you're here today. You have no idea because it really is.
Me too.
You're so necessary. And I do so many podcasts on, relationships and sex and blah, blah, blah. But money is really a huge, oh my gosh, it's a huge issue in everyone's relationships, not to mention your relationship with yourself. Okay, y'all, we need to talk about the holidays and divorce. It's a stressful time for families, especially when alcohol is involved. And our friends at SoberLink want to help. SoberLink has teamed up with divorce and family law experts to provide information that offers peace of mind during the holidays. For those who still haven't heard about SoberLink, it is the solution if you are going through a divorce and custody case involving alcohol. Whether you are falsely accused of alcohol use or are concerned about your child's safety because of the other parent's alcohol use, SoberLink can help. SoberLink works to keep children safe, and its technology makes it a gold standard in alcohol monitoring systems. Don't miss out on SoberLink's free guide for the upcoming holiday season. Request it today at www.soberlink.com/DRR. That's soberlink.com. And you talk about money being part of self-care. That's another part of your thing. Talk about that for me.
Yeah. So we talk about taking care of your finances as one of the highest forms of self-care. Because if you think about it, what's the point of self-care? Massages and bubble baths. It's to, relax, take you time, like take care of yourself and your future self. And with money, money is one of the biggest stressors for women. And so if you could address that stress head on by paying attention to it, that is self-care. That is real self-care right there. Relieving the stress of knowing that looming debt, or actually not knowing the numbers in your bank account or what you have. And the clarity that people get once they start paying attention. We have this tagline in our program that our members have given us. This isn't something we gave to them. They all write to us and they say, I want t-shirts that say, I love my budget. They actually get to a place of loving their budget.
Oh, I want to love my budget. I would like to love my budget, Britt.
Exactly.
I would love to not have 74 cents in my bank account. That would be fabulous.
Totally. Right. I know.
I'm like, how did that happen? I thought I was doing great this month. It's really hard. It's
really hard. And it's really hard.
I love my budget. That's great. You need to get those t-shirts.
We need those t-shirts because once you start doing this, and in the program, we have step-by-step bite-size actions that you take. So it's not overwhelming. Like we teach you budgeting in steps so that you can figure it out over time. And then once you have this clarity of where your money is going and what you're using it for, you can, one, spend it guilt-free on the things that you want to spend it on because you've actually prepared for it. You've put that $150 massage into your budget. And so you can enjoy it instead of feeling guilty about it. And
I don't even know what that means. That's amazing. Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? Did you see me thinking? I'm like, what do you mean you put it into your budget?
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. Especially, post-divorce, if someone else has been managing the money and then you're learning to manage it for the first time on your own, like there's some self-worth that comes with getting it handled.
And the confidence you were saying, I cut you off because I always do. My listeners are like, quit cutting her off. Okay. The confidence. Yes. I'm sorry, Britt.
The confidence that comes with knowing exactly what's happening in your money life.
Wouldn't that be nice? You know what I used to do when I was married? I used to return stuff for the cash. You know what I mean? Like that's how awful it was. Like I had the money. My husband never said I couldn't do anything, but I felt so guilty about like getting Botox that I would return stuff and pay cash for it.
Yeah.
Like this is like true confessions right now, Britt. I'm like, this is like, I feel like you're my shrink. It was awful because like that's my relationship with money. I always thought like we didn't have it. But he never once said I couldn't do it.
And that's where, less of the persona and more the work around money story comes in, because that feeling of, we don't have enough or we're never going to have enough, that's ingrained, that's ancestral. That's coming from either your parents or grandparents who have that feeling. I have that too. It's, it takes work to get over that. And that's another exercise we have some people do is journal on their first experiences of money and learn kind of where this story came from that's running. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I should blame my parents for everything. Just kidding, Mom. If you're listening, it's not all your fault. It's Dad's. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. So one more thing. Okay. Can I talk about one more thing? Do I have a couple more minutes? Okay. Yeah. So money facts versus money feelings. Did we touch on that yet?
No, we haven't talked about that yet.
Do you mind?
I guess we've touched on that, but
okay, I'll touch a little bit.
I'll explain it a little bit more. It's this idea that until you address the actual situation of money, you'll be stuck in the feeling of it. So it's like this idea of, it also comes from putting your own identity on your financial situation versus letting those be separate things. So having your self-worth be different from the amount of money that's in your bank account. Should I pause there?
I'm just trying to think for a minute. Okay. So like men like in their egos when it comes to their job and their money.
Yeah. Okay. So, and most people, their idea of worth or success or, worthiness comes from, do I have enough money? It's societal. This isn't from within us. This is what society has given us. And so when we can separate that and say, how much money am I banking out has nothing to do with who I am as a person. You can separate those and say, I am totally worthy of having money. I'm worthy of being debt-free. And I happen to have debt right now. And that's okay. It's just a fact. The money fact is that, you have $10,000 of credit card. And the feeling can still be, I am confident. I have a plan. I am on my way. It doesn't have to be, I'm a terrible person. I can't believe I got myself into this debt. And separating those things is what actually allows you to take action. because it's really hard to take action from a place of shame.
Yeah, when you feel horrible and you can't. Yeah.
Exactly.
So do you think, and this is just a question in general, do you think because you're the expert, obviously, but do you think it's more important to pay off debt first or to get which do you work on first? Is it the debt part of it or is it the shame? How does it, because I feel like it's like the chicken and the egg.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought the question was but I totally understand. Yeah. You have to address the feelings part. You have to address the shame. And so that's why our program starts with heal. This is the second step of our program. First, commit, do your weekly money ritual. Step 2, heal. Address all of these emotions that come with money. Pay attention to your subconscious beliefs that are coming up, both about yourself and about money in general. Write your money persona. Take on this new way of believing, which is, things can change, like really having a positive outlook when it comes to your finances. So it's putting that stuff in place, the foundation, and then it's tackling the debt. I thought you were asking, should you do debt before anything else? And that is the answer.
That too. I was asking
you
too.
You want to pay off your debt before anything else. So before you save a fully funded emergency fund, before you invest, you have to pay off your credit card debt. The reason for that is just because it's so expensive that it's costing you more to hold on to it than anything else will give you.
Yeah, get rid of that debt.
And this is something that happens to a lot of women is they actually have money in their savings account out of fear, out of self-protection, out of, wanting to protect themselves. And they have debt and they could pay off that debt with the money in their savings account, but they aren't because they're afraid. And this is one of the things we coach people through is holding on to a small amount of your emergency fund just so you don't go further into debt and then clearing the rest of your debt off if you have the ability to with what you have in savings. It's the best use of your money because that money sitting in savings account is earning you less than 1% in an interest rate, and your credit card debt is costing you 20 to 30% in interest. And so you need to pay that off ASAP and then start to move forward, start to actually save each month and build back up your emergency fund.
See, I don't know if women, I don't want to say women, but I don't know if a lot of people know that they need you.
Most people don't. Yeah, I'd say most people don't know that.
Yeah, I feel like, I'm freaked out if I don't have money in my savings account. Mm-hmm. So like if I had debt, I would be like,
it's the worst case, you don't have money in your savings account and you need something. You could put it on your credit card again, worst case. And then you're back in the same place that you were, but you're not worse off than if you just keep not paying the debt. But ideally, you're taking action to change your spending situation at the same time. So you're not going back into debt.
Right. See, for me, it's like if I get something on sale, I'm like, wow, that was really like, a good deal for me. And then I'm like, if I return it, I'm like, oh, look, I'm like one of those like, oh, I won. It was at 50% off. That's like a prize for me. I'm like, if I go to Target and spend under $100, I feel like there should be a balloon parade, some kind of like clown and like, oh my God, I got under $100. Who does that? But like,
that is something to be proud of, actually.
Right? Yeah, I feel like I should be proud of myself for that.
It's a black hole.
The best is just to stay far away from Target, Britt. That's what you should tell your people.
The best, it's true. It truly is avoidance. Just like this is what I tell the people when they're like, how should I stop spending money? Like unsubscribe from all your favorite companies. Don't get their marketing emails. Just don't see it.
I have to. I unsubscribed from Anthropologie yesterday because I'm like done with them. I'm like, do not send me another thing. I love that dress. Stop it. It's like putting candy in front of a baby because I can't have it. I just can't. I'm with you. You have to. It's so true. But sometimes even the ones that like the Gap and you're like, I could buy like 30 of the same t-shirt. Why do you need 30 of the same t-shirt? Because it's $10. That's why. That's me. Britt, you are so cute. I love it. Okay, so what else am I forgetting? Anything that I need to tell everybody about Dow Janes?
Ooh, what else?
Besides you're awesome, what else you got for me? I'm trying to think. Is there anything that like dealing with your money, anything? And it's mostly women. It's women, right?
It's all women. Yeah.
All women.
It's really
cool. That. Sorry, guys.
Is to see the community that is created around this. When everyone is on the same journey of tackling their finances together, we have a Facebook group, we have these calls where people come together and meet each other. And the way that they support each other and build each other up and answer each other's questions. And, there's this raw enthusiasm of like, you got this. Like, yeah, something hard happened, but it's okay. Like we're on this journey together. And just to feel like, you're not alone, because it can feel so lonely when when you have debt and don't have a plan to get out, or when you want to invest and you're scared to invest. It's like, who do I go to? Who do I turn to? And so having this community and a place of, trusted advice and coaches it's been really phenomenal to see the results that people are getting.
Yeah, I was going to say that the trusting part of it, to have someone to be with. Yeah. And I can't believe it's only been 3 years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We've 3 years and 8,000 members.
Are you so proud of yourself? That's incredible.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. That is exciting. And you've been everywhere. I mean, you've been in, can I toot your horn for a minute? I mean, have you been in like big places like Forbes and yeah?
Oh, not quite Forbes yet. Cross our fingers.
Oh, why did I read Forbes? Everybody, Forbes, are you listening to me? Okay, so but big places, right? I mean,
Insider, Yahoo Finance,
yes,
Dork.
Good stuff. Just keep saying that you went to Harvard. That should get you anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how did you? Can I just ask you how the hell you got into Harvard? You must be like, oh, I can't even. I really like you, Britt. I think you're awesome. I come back anytime.
Oh, I really like you. Please
come back anytime. I adore you. Okay, so wait. So the program, $1 million a year. It's on your website. Your website's amazing. And I'm going to put everything in the show notes. And that's available all the time.
You can join the $1 Million Year anytime. If you watch our webinar, which you can get to from our homepage, it's called our free class. If you watch the free class, you can get a discount code for joining the $1 Million Year. And yeah, you can join anytime. And it's a really incredible program that actually gets results. We also have a full money back guarantee. So if you don't double your investment in the program, we double your investment for you, give you twice what you paid for it. You actually do the program and follow the steps. Yeah, it's really, you can't
lose. Like a no-brainer. Like how can you,
exactly.
Yeah. Everybody, I hope you've got your pencils ready and you're doing this today. Cause you know what? I might even do it now that I'm thinking about it.
You should.
I think it'd be good for me. Oh, yeah. I think people might really like me and want me to be part of their team.
Definitely.
Cause I have a lot of stories to tell, Britt. Just hang out there.
Yeah.
Okay, darling. It was so nice having you. And everybody do me a favor, please. Dow Janes, Janes. It's on, y'all are everywhere, but I love your Instagram. I love it. Are you on TikTok yet?
We're on TikTok. Yeah.
I'm on TikTok as well. It's a little bit crazy over there.
It's a little bit crazy. We don't have a great presence, but we will eventually.
Okay, well, just come over to just start talking on my feed over there because that's where I've got like 7 million something craziness over there.
Oh, cool.
I don't know.
Great.
I don't know why they like me over there. Who knows? They make fun of me. I'm an old lady.
So funny.
No, I'm an old lady. That's why they're like, "Oh, look at that old lady again doing that stupid dance." I'm like, "Okay, you know what? Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do." Oh my gosh. Anyways, but yeah, so TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And is your Facebook a private group, or can people?
Our community is private, and then we have a public page as well.
So everything will be in the show notes. And I loved having you. Please come back anytime and we'll talk about whatever you want. Britt Williams Baker. What a doll. And everyone, let me think. What day is it? Did my book come out? Oh, my book came out. My book is out. Midlife Priceless, a dating coach's guide to finally doing relationships right. It's been a long day. It's only 2:00 here. It's been a long day. So that is that. Everyone do something fabulous for yourself today. Make some good money moves. Put some money in the bank. Call Britt, one of the above. And that's it. Peace, love, and so much truth. Y'all have a great day. Thanks, Britt. Thank you, honey. Hey. Thanks for listening to Doing Relationships Right. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the show, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast episodes. And please grab my books, One Happy Divorce and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda on my website, jenniferhurwitz.com. And look out for my new book, all about doing dating right, coming soon. As usual, thanks for listening. See you next week. Peace, love, and truth.